Hello, everyone, and welcome to our live. I'm here with Andy Bowker, and we're going to be talking about where are all the autistic jobs and employment, and how difficult it can be for an autistic person to find a job. Hello, Andy.
Hello, you get bonus points for pronouncing my surname correctly as well, because not everybody does.
Yeah. Um, so let's start off by uh, diving, going into the topic. So you've had 15 interviews and not been successful. How did that feel?
Yeah, so I'll give you a bit of a background first. So my name's Andy. Obviously, I'm 50 years old. I've worked in various office jobs, mainly done a bit of delivery driving as well. My last job was in an optician. So in terms of autism and ADHD, I'm not officially diagnosed, but when I was growing up, it was a time where people really didn't talk about it. So, yeah, so I'm probably on the milder end of the autistic spectrum, but ADHD probably
Yeah.
affects my life a little more these days. So, yeah, so I lost my job in 2024 because I had a mental health breakdown, which has been pretty tough, but I won't go into that at the moment. I took a few months off because I just wasn't in any kind of state to find any work. And it was last August that I started looking again. And since then, I'm losing count. I had an interview yesterday as well. So I think it's like 18 jobs.
Yeah.
And well, I was going to swear. I better not swear on it.
No.
On this. It's flipping crazy. It's like even at the time of the recession in the late 2000s, I didn't have this many interviews. And I think a big part of it is because of the economic climate. It's very, very tough at the moment. There's a lot of people found. It's easy to find posts on LinkedIn to evidence that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess how I feel. Well, I'm making a bit of a transition anyway into doing my own thing. But I think in terms of not having much money, I just feel frustrated, I guess. And I don't know if I'm being discriminated against because of my age or the way I come across. I can't prove anything. But yeah, as someone who's never really fitted into the workplace because of probably my neurodiversity to an extent, when it's a tough economic time, it can be really, really difficult. And I think you're going to go into like interview questions, and some of them are just, I think the overriding feeling is one of frustration, really. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I had a lot of interviews, and I had a similar thing. I had lost my job because I got ill, and
Yeah.
it was difficult for me too to find something in an employment. Uh, and uh, I got some questions. So uh, so let's look into these 15 interviews. Um, what was your most significant hurdle you had during the interview? You felt what was the most difficult thing?
I don't. It's very hard to put my finger on exactly what, because I think I've had so many interviews now that I'm quite used to it. So I'm used to kind of the various questions they answer. I guess for me, I struggle when they bring up gaps in employment or ask me about my last job, which didn't end very well. I think people expect you to like be in work your whole flipping life, and it's not, especially these days, it's not realistic. And I just think the interview isn't really a fair assessment, if you like, of as to
Yeah.
whether somebody could do the job properly. I think you mentioned about having tests or work trials, which I'm a big
Yeah.
advocate of. So I think, yeah, just the interview itself, it's like, I don't know. Really, it's very hard to say, because when they feed back, if companies give me feedback, they tend to just say somebody else has got more experience or somebody else was a better fit from the job. But I don't know. I can be a bit
Yeah.
cynical at times. You wonder if it's. I mean, I know there's all these laws and all this stuff, but in reality, discrimination still exists, whether we like it or not. So it's like, I just think, yeah, I think my biggest hurdle probably, or my perceived hurdle, is that I've been out of work for the last year, and just that I don't have the job history that a lot of people might be looking for, really.
And I think like the interview could be better, like having like a taste a day or a task to do would make it better.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually had an interview I had yesterday. They actually sent me the questions so I could prepare beforehand, which is fairly rare, but it didn't really make much difference in the interview itself in the end. But yeah, taster days and tests, things like that. I think work trials are a really good idea, and I wish I had a work trial for one of my old jobs. I wish they seem to be non-existent at the moment.
Yeah. Can you describe one interview that you had? Was there a communication gap?
I think not really. I mean, I had one yesterday, like I say, so that one's quite fresh in my memory. So yeah, it's like I can answer the questions. I just don't know if I'm giving the answer they're looking for. And it's like and also I don't fake things, and I don't lie in interviews, because I just think you're going to get I think karma will get you back if you lie. So it's like, I can't pretend like that I really, really want to do this job and it's my dream job. You know what I mean? It's like I'm doing it because I want a bit more money. And that's the case with a lot of jobs. So if they're expecting somebody with a happy face in the interview, that's just not me. I don't know. Maybe I just come across a bit miserable. Don't know. I don't know how you find interviews.
I sometimes am quite slow to answer the question, but I let them know beforehand, and struggle to put together the question. But I'm getting better. Like some of the questions can be quite vague, like tell me about yourself and where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh, I can talk the tell me about yourself one. Yeah. Now, when there's most interviewers, or had how many 18 interviews, I'd probably say over half of them have asked me that question, tell me a bit about yourself. Now, as we us kind of people, we tend to take these questions quite literally. So when they meaning, so the question "tell me about yourself" is a big example of that. So when I was starting off, just telling them about, like, I don't know, my interests, a bit about my work history, but just about who I am as a person. But then a work coach that I've spoken to, he told me that all they really want to know about is your work history, your work skills. So when they say "tell me about yourself," it really should say tell us about your work history and how your skills fit into this job, or something like that. I don't tend to get asked the question, tell me where you see yourself in 5 years. I think that's a stupid question, firstly, but I mean, I don't even know I'll be in 5 months, let alone 5 years, for goodness sake.
I thought it would have been more about you, that kind of question about.
Yeah, same. But I mean, I saw a coach. I mean, this could be good info for some, but yeah, I saw a work coach at the place that that's trying to help me find work, and he advised me that they just want to know about like your work history and what your skills are, not about your interests or hobbies or anything like that. They're not interested in that. They just want to know how your I don't know, personality, maybe a bit about your personality, depending on the job. Like, you don't want to have somebody who's in PR, for example, who's not outgoing. So that might help to tell a little bit if you're that kind of person, or if you're going for an interview at, say, Hallmark Cards, they want to. You need to be a creative person, so you need to tell them about that. But yeah, it's mainly about, from what I gather, that tell me about yourself question is more just about yourself in terms of work and how your skills that you've acquired can fit the requirements of the job that you're interviewing for. But yeah, some of these questions I do find quite annoying.
Yeah, and I don't like how you have to structure them and say them correctly. There shouldn't be a right or wrong way.
Yeah, because most employers, they tend to, I think they have a scoring system. They're looking for particular words and stuff like that. Yeah. It used to be like that.
Did you ever struggle with like the interview format? Well, we've kind of talked about that.
A little bit, yeah. Not really. I mean, there's only been one out of all the interviews I've had which I have found pretty challenging, because I mean, most of the questions they ask are fairly similar from interview to interview, and there are some interviews which have been very, very informal as well. Like, I had one which was there were three of us in the interview. It was for a train guard for the land train that goes across Bournemouth Beach. And yeah, so they kind of asked us really easy questions in turn, but I still didn't get the blooming job. So yeah, I was quite annoyed with
it. Like, sensory wise, like lights and noise, could that impact like the job interview for you?
No, I'd be interested to hear your take on this, but for me, I'm not really. There's certain things I don't like being in large crowds.
Yeah.
I like loud music on my own, but I don't like having to try to talk over loud music, that kind of stuff. But in terms of lighting, I'm generally quite okay with that. Except I find some of the work colours a bit boring, but yeah, that's not really an issue for me. How do you find that? Do you struggle with it?
About the same, really. Yeah. It didn't really impact me. I just thought I'd asked about it.
Yeah. Some people, there's various degrees of autism, isn't there? Like, a lot of people seem to struggle in supermarkets, where it's not a problem for me at all. I've never been bothered about.
Eye contact is something that I do struggle with a little bit.
Yeah, I got better, I think. Yeah, a friend of mine who's also on the spectrum, she kind of encouraged me to get better eye contact.
Yeah.
I know it's certainly something I've struggled with over the years, I think, because of shyness and things like that. But I don't think it's a bad thing to have good eye contact. I think for some of us it might be a bit more difficult, but it's a skill which I think can be developed. But yeah, I'm probably still not as good with it as I could be.
Do you ever find that you bump into people, like when you're walking in the street sometime?
No, I'm surprised I don't. But no, don't really find that, no.
Okay. And then, like, let's go on to, like, actually in the job now.
Yes, let's do it.
I thought about, like, in the lunchroom, you could have like a specific lunchroom and like have like maybe certain games in there to help like with team building and stuff like that. What did you think?
So I suppose it just depends on the environment. I think we're going to
Yeah,
go on to talking about good environments for autistic people, so we can cover that in a bit.
yeah,
I've always preferred to have lunch on my own and go outside if
yeah,
I can, a walk. I think, yeah, I think it would be a good thing to have like
yeah,
games and things like that. That's what you're into, quiet rooms.
yeah.
Yeah, things like that. Yeah, but at the moment, most work environments aren't really catered for that. I think
No,
there's something. It's good. So I think if you do find a space like that where you can work, which allows those kind of things, then I think that's great. I think it will hopefully start to happen a bit more. But yeah, I tend to try. I don't make any massive effort to make friends at work. If it happens, it happens. That's great. But
yeah.
I often keep myself to myself. What was the last job you worked in, by the way?
It was for listing products on Amazon for a hair
Oh, right.
accessories company.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
Um, and then like we covered like different types of interview formats you could have, like taster days and stuff like that. Um, what what's one change employers could have to significantly improve the interview process?
Well, that's a good question. I'm just trying to think how best to answer that. Um, I think so, it depends on the job, I suppose. If like I'm
Yeah,
interviewing for an accounts job, which I've done in the past, I think it would be good to like, in some jobs they do have like tests. So things like answering questions and what do you understand about this accounting term, stuff like that. And if I don't know if you're working in, let's have a think. If you're working in
it,
construction or something like that, you probably want some more kind of practical terms. Like I've had an interview recently with Royal Mail, the one yesterday,
uh-huh,
and yeah, it would have probably been. They're not going to do it, but I think they probably could have done well to kind of test me out to see how well I could do the job. Just even for
yeah,
10 minutes, it's quite a physical job and letter sorting. I don't know how well suited I'd be to the job. I just think the interview format is a bit too vague, really. I don't like CVs particularly, but I think I don't know. I think the whole way we work is unnatural anyway. That's another story. But yeah, you can't. I think just work trials. I think would be a good idea. Really, I really do.
yeah,
Um, yeah, because I had a work trial, as I say, about 15 years ago, and I got the job after that. Because you kind of feel with a CV and an interview, like my CV may not look as good as a lot of people, but I know I could do the job just as well. So I think, yeah, there needs to be more, like, instead of give me like these questions where you say, give me an example where you've suggested a change which has been implemented. It's like I've worked in mainly administrative roles, and there hasn't really been that much scope to suggest changes. And a lot of times
yeah.
people don't listen to anyway, let's be honest about it. So questions like that frustrate me. I think there must. I think there just needs to be. Well, I was reading an article a friend of mine wrote, and her old boss, who sadly passed away, he was just asking her about herself and what she enjoyed doing and what made her tick. So I think, like, you go back to the question, tell me a bit more about yourself. I think, yeah, maybe they could ask a bit more about on those kind of lines, because that might give more of an idea of how well you'll fit into the organisation and the culture,
Yeah,
rather than just your work capabilities. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like in terms of like your anxiety and nervousness before the interview, how do you manage that?
The weird thing is, I probably feel a bit more nervous in interviews now than I did about 5 or 6 months ago.
Yeah.
I think my confidence with them has been a little bit eroded because of so many knockbacks. I don't know. I'm not too nervous during interviews now. I'm
No.
probably used to be, as I've had so many interviews over the years. I'm almost used to it.
If
I think I was a bit. Go on.
if I had to travel somewhere, like to an interview, I'd be more nervous than if I was to do a home interview.
Oh right, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't. I probably prefer travelling there actually. On the other
Yeah.
way around. Like some characteristics like ADHD people tend to be late,
Yeah.
whereas I'm the opposite. I hate being late. I'm always trying to be on time.
Yeah.
One end of it or the other end.
um, did you want to play a game?
Game?
Yes.
What game? What game you got?
It's called uh it's called uh Decoding the Employer.
Oh yeah, sounds good to me, mate.
Decoding the Employer. So I'm gonna give you a statement and you got to ask it or bin it.
Oh yes, yeah.
Okay, so the first statement is, we're looking for a team player. Ask it or bin it.
Oh, I guess that depends on the kind of role that you're looking for. So if you like, if it's like marketing or something like that, which will involve a lot of teamwork and interaction with other people, or what else? Or working, even I'm a big fan of classical music, so if you're interviewing, for example, for being a member of a big orchestra, you want to have somebody who works well in a team, because you might be a fantastic musician, but if you don't fit into the whole team, it's just not going to work. So I think, for some roles I'd use it. If it was a role where you're on your own a lot of the time, or if it's a role where you're working from home and you don't have that much interaction with the team, I'd say bin it. But I think the term, sorry, I'm not really providing, this isn't a yes or no. I think the term team player has been a bit, what's the word? Oh God, a bit of a cliche, and I don't even really know what it means. Why do they say team player rather than team worker as well?
For me, I'd say ask it, that one.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, but it depends on the job.
Yeah.
It's important in the team sometimes.
The next one is, tell me about a time you failed.
It really depends, because it kind of makes you suspicious that an employer is trying to catch you out. So if I was interviewing somebody, and I was conscious that I was asking it for the right reasons, I'd probably say use it. But from a point of view of being the interviewee, it's not a question I particularly like. So again, it's a tough one. It just depends. I'd probably say bin it on balance. You would.
Because when you fail, you learn the most when you fail. So that's what they're trying to get out of you. How you learned from that failure.
Yeah, again, it depends on the employer whether they're actually looking for someone to discriminate against, or whether they're looking for something positive from it, I suppose.
The next one is, would you have a formal free or a one-person interview? Ask it or bin it.
Real one. I had two people yesterday. So you mean what? Either three people interviewing you or one people interviewing you?
Yeah.
It depends for the it depends for the position. Obviously, if you're going for a director's position, then yeah, definitely have three people at least interviewing you. If it's like just for a basic level administrative role or something like that, then I think one person's enough.
For me, I'd say one person. Because three people is quite a lot of people to try and manage, especially if you're autistic.
Yeah, I suppose we're not so likely to go up for high up positions in an organisation. So yeah, for us, probably one person is sufficient.
Yeah. And boring black and white CVs, ask it or bin it.
Boring black and white CVs. Yeah, I don't know what I would put in place, but I would bin CVs if I had my way.
Yeah.
Out there.
So, is there anything else you wanted to discuss?
I think we were going to discuss. Like you were going to discuss the statistics for
yeah. I kind of find them.
I don't think I've got any other questions that ask it or bin it questions, don't I?
I got another ask it or bin it.
How have you?
Oh no, I found it. Have you ever considered disclosing your autism during the application or interview?
I'm sure I've done it. Yeah, but at the moment I'm not doing it. I've just had too many interview rejections, and I just think as much as the Equality Act's in place, it's like my view is that you don't have to write everything down on a piece of paper. So unless you get people recording you in the interview, like at CCTV or something, you can say, like after the interview's left, the interviewers can always say, "Oh, I'm not sure about hiring this autistic person. He might be a bit difficult, or he might want adjustments," that kind of thing. And you don't have to write that down, and nobody else will know that they've been discriminated against. So I just think so. I prefer not to write it down at the moment. What about yourself? Do you put it on the application?
I just always tell them before the interview. Yeah. Because I think that it's important that they can see me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't find the statistics.
Was it about 30% of autistic people are in jobs or something like that? I think. It's not a very high number of people that are currently in jobs at the minute. No, I mean, we can discuss this, I suppose. I guess if we're counting like every single, or like what was Asperger's back in when I was growing up, when you was growing up, that all come under the autism umbrella, which has blurred things a little bit, but I don't really want to go into that. But if we're talking like every single person on the spectrum, there'll be quite a few autistic people who literally can't work, who've got Like some have got to have learning disabilities, and some just might just not be able to cope in conventional work environments. It would just be impossible. So yeah, and there's other things like the job market being tough at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, my view on work environments that are suitable for autistics is probably slightly controversial. I think we need to have more work environments that are primarily catered for neurodiverse individuals. I think our friend Laura, I think she mentioned one to me, but I can't remember. I think it was a sock company which hired people with Down syndrome, because it can be, because the system, it was all set up for neurotypical individuals, or neurotypical males primarily, was originally set up, and like work the same number of hours, like keeping an eye on to make sure you're not late, and to do discipline. All that rubbish just not work for people like us. So I don't know about you, but I don't really have a set pattern as to what hours I could be at my best for working every day. There's times I've got quite a bit of reading stuff to do at the moment. Times, like in the evening, sometimes I can get a lot done. Sometimes in the morning, right done. I think for people like us, we would really benefit from a culture of trust, where we'd be trusted to do our work and not stay at our desk for 37.5 hours a week, because I mean that's probably too much for us people anyway.
That's interesting you mentioned about trust.
And I think
I actually wrote a LinkedIn newsletter about trust earlier. Am I living with Dan LinkedIn newsletter?
LinkedIn aren't in my oh right.
And like
LinkedIn aren't in my good books at the moment.
I mentioned about Denmark and how they have they trust each other a lot, and that the employment system they're so much more happier.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, if somebody's working a 9-to-5 job, how much of the time they actually spend working, and how much of the time they spend chatting to their colleagues or on their phones? I mean, my last boss, she spent most of the day on her phone. God knows how she got away with it, but that's another story. But yeah, feels like they just want us to follow a particular pattern, a repetitive pattern, which just doesn't suit us. So I think environments that would suit myself if I was working for somebody else would be, well, I know what my responsibilities are, something I'm capable of doing, because there's nothing worse than work stress. Well, not saying nothing worse, but I've had work stress in the past. It's one of the most horrible things I've ever dealt with, where it's like, this thriving under pressure, that nonsense. I absolutely hate that. All that rush, you need kind of those kind of things that are not suited to all ADHD people. So I think I have no idea how I could implement it, but I'd love to see places that are primarily capable neurodivergent people, maybe working all days, maybe have days, but people working 4 days a week. So I think that's quite enough. It's something I've got in my head, but the environment, the work environment, just doesn't suit people like us a lot of the time. A lot of people hate their jobs, we all know that, but they can kind of tolerate it. Even although they say some pretty Facebook posts, they say some horrible things. Go
on. Thank you for joining me live on YouTube. I think we covered everything.
Thank you. Yes.